What do a superhero's girlfriend and a tennis coach have in common? They were all played by Zendaya, the famous actress. Just as people love her outfits, watch collectors are now paying close attention to what she wears on her wrist. Today, we're counting down 7 watches from Zendaya's personal collection. Strap in, because this one is going to surprise you. Beginning our countdown today is the Bulgari Bulgari. In a Bulgari icon campaign, Zendaya was photographed wearing a bicolor gold and steel Bulgari Bulgari watch. This is the reference 103067, and it's one of the most recognizable pieces in Bulgari's lineup. You may be wondering why. It's because the Bulgari Bulgari was the very first watch to use a logo as an element of design. The brand name is engraved twice around the bezel, going all the way to the case. That distinctive double circular engraving was inspired by the curved inscriptions found on ancient Roman coins. So it's not just a logo flex, there's actual history behind it. The watch also has a satin brushed stainless steel case, bracelet with an 18-karat rose gold bezel, a silvered sunray dial, and diamond indexes. It retails for around $10,300. As a Bulgari ambassador with 177 million Instagram followers, Zendaya wearing this in a global campaign means millions of people have already seen it on her wrist. And honestly, it looks exactly like something she'd pick herself. Subtle enough to be classy, but with enough detail to make it interesting. But if you think the logo watch is bold, wait until you see what she wears just for a regular day out. Up next is the Cartier Panthère. Of all the luxury watches in Zendaya's collection, the one she wears more often isn't the most expensive, it's the Cartier Panthère. Fans assumed it would be her favorite timepiece from an entire collection. The quartz Panthère was first introduced by Cartier in 1983 and has since become a classic. Its signature square case, rounded lugs, and ultra-flexible link bracelet are meant to mimic the graceful movement of a panther. And here's the part that will surprise you. She didn't just buy one. Zendaya's been spotted wearing the steel Cartier Panthère as well as the gold version. If you love something, why not get it in every finish, right? The steel version is actually one of the wallet-friendly luxury watches out there. Currently, the Cartier Panthère retails for about $3,350. That's basically pocket change compared to what's coming later on this list. The gold version though, that one retails for $19,700. The fact that Zendaya wears it on regular days out says everything. And that's honestly more of an endorsement than any campaign. Speaking of comfort choices, her next watch is another classic, but this one comes with diamonds. The Rolex Datejust. They say no luxury watch collection is complete without a Rolex, and Zendaya absolutely has that box checked. Her top choice from Rolex is the 36mm Datejust. It's made from stainless steel and 18-karat yellow gold in the reference 126283RBR. However, this isn't just your everyday Datejust. Zendaya opted for a factory diamond set bezel that adds a sophisticated layer of brilliance, and the details keep getting better. Look closer and you'll notice a champagne-colored dial and diamond set hour markers. Everything is held together by the iconic Jubilee bracelet, known for its comfort and dressy aesthetic. Normally, this Datejust retails for $20,550. It's the kind of watch that looks expensive without announcing itself from across the room. Clean lines, warm gold tones, and just enough sparkle to remind you it means business. Very Zendaya when you think about it. All the elegance, but none of the noise. And if you think that's impressive, wait until you see the second Rolex she was spotted in. Our next watch is the Rolex Daytona. The Daytona is one of the most iconic sports watches ever made. It was originally designed for racing drivers and has a chronograph function built in. This means it can track elapsed time with precision. In fact, the steel version with a ceramic bezel is one of the most sought-after Rolexes on the planet. Waitlists at authorized dealers can stretch for years. That's why we're not surprised when in September 2022, Zendaya was photographed wearing a classic steel Rolex Daytona. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Her boyfriend Tom Holland also happens to own the same watch. So the question is, are they sharing one watch? Or do they each go out and secure their own? Either way, it says a lot. But honestly, if you're Zendaya or Tom Holland, you can probably afford two. Meanwhile, the Daytona reference 116500 retails for $14,550. To us, it doesn't matter if it's a shared favorite or a matching set. The watch perfectly fits Zendaya's reputation for mixing high-end luxury with effortless everyday style. It remains a standout heavy hitter in a collection that continues to keep the fashion world guessing. Now, if you're into watches that say more than words ever could, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe. We've got plenty more luxury watch breakdowns coming your way. Now back to the countdown. Making its way to the third spot is the Bulgari Serpenti Tubogas. This one isn't just a watch, it's a whole experience. Zendaya was seen wearing the 35mm two-tone Bulgari Serpenti Tubogas, and if you've never seen this piece before, here's what you'll do. Picture a golden steel snake coiling around your wrist with the watch face sitting right at the head. That's exactly what this is. The Serpenti was introduced in 1948 and uses the iconic Tubogas technique. This is where a flexible bracelet wraps around the wrist like a coiling serpent. It's one of the oldest continuously running watch designs in the luxury world, and somehow it still manages to look like it came from the future. The Bulgari Serpenti Tubogas retails for $13,800, though you can sometimes find one on the secondary market for around $11,000. As a Bulgari ambassador, Zendaya's worn Bulgari timepieces at major events including the Oscars. So this snake watch has been to some very fancy places. The thing about the Serpenti is that it blurs the line between watch and jewelry. It doesn't just tell you the time, it makes a whole statement about who you are. And for Zendaya, that statement is, I don't follow trends, I set them. But even the Serpenti isn't the most talked about watch in her collection. That honour belongs to the next one. The Bulgari Octo Roma. Most celebrity watches follow a predictable pattern. However, the Bulgari Octo Roma throws all of that out of the window. The Octo Roma has 8 sides, hard angles, a very architectural, almost industrial look that feels more like a building than a bracelet. It's the kind of watch that architecture students and fashion editors both obsess over for completely different reasons. Zendaya has been photographed wearing the Bulgari Octo Roma as part of her ambassador work with the brand. You can pick up the Bulgari Octo Roma directly from Bulgari for $6,800. That's actually one of the lower price tags on the entire list, which makes it even more interesting. Zendaya didn't wear this because it was the most expensive option. She wore it because it looks like nothing else, and that tells you a lot about her taste. She's not trying to impress you with the price tag, she's trying to catch your eye with the design. Mission absolutely accomplished. Now, if the Octo Roma surprised you, our number one pick is the hardest watches on earth to get your hands on. The Patek Philippe Nautilus. Zendaya was recently spotted during a Spider-Man No Way Home press tour wearing a 35mm Patek Philippe Nautilus in 18-karat rose gold. If you know anything about watches, you already know why this is number one. The Patek Philippe Nautilus is not just a watch, it is the watch. It's what collectors dream about. The dial on Zendaya's Nautilus features a silvery opaline pattern with wavy stripes. This makes it far more unique than the usual Nautilus you'd see in a shop window. Another subtle detail that sets her piece apart is the date window, which sits at the 6 o'clock position instead of the traditional 3 o'clock. This choice reflects Zendaya's knack for picking items that are both classic and slightly unconventional. Report says it retails for $47,600, but on the secondary market it's currently selling for around $95,000. That's nearly double what you pay brand new. Because when everyone wants it and almost nobody can get it, that's what happens to the price. Now, Zendaya's watch collection isn't the biggest or flashiest you'll ever see from a Hollywood star, but every single piece has been chosen with purpose. Not bad for someone who started out on the Disney Channel, right? And if you want to keep going down the luxury watch rabbit hole, our next video on Tom Holland's watch collection is queued up and ready for you. Go check it out and we'll catch you over there.